What's up, people out there in YouTube land? Welcome to the Games at Large, episode 110. And this week we're doing a fresh takeover with me and Mizzah Tee.
Hey there, foos. What's up? Let's do this.
All right, now for those of you that don't know, T and I have our own fresh take movie and comic series that we do over on the Geek Alley YouTube channel. It's basically us talking about, movies, comics, and TV shows that deal in those type genres. So tonight what we're going to do is do a video game edition of that. Now, with the video game edition, there have been attempts to make video game movies, some good, some, I ain't gonna say good, some passable, some mediocre, and some just downright awful, and some actually plagiarized. As my first movie that I'm going to bring up right now, Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry. The first one was good, but there's one slight problem with that movie, and that's because it's basically a rip of Enter the Dragon. A bad rip of Enter the Dragon.
If you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah, now you know. It pretty much takes Enter the Dragon and just puts Mortal Kombat characters in it. Which at the time in '95 was not a bad thing.
No, I mean you can sprinkle in some kickboxer too if you want to do that. Not kickboxer, Bloodsport.
Yeah, Bloodsport.
Sprinkle in some Bloodsport if you want. But Bloodsport was a rip on Enter the Dragon too. So,
yeah. But I think like Mortal Kombat actually was straight up plagiarism at certain points.
Oh yeah, it was just straight up.
It was like, okay, dude, really? I'm like, man, really, dude? That wasn't cool. We've also had, Street Fighter, not Legend of Chun-Li, the 1994 Van Damme epic, that Oscar winner.
Yeah, well, it makes what you put it next to Legend of Chun-Li, it is an Oscar winner. So
it really is. But we have that one now. The Van Damme one, I think they knew what it was. They knew what it was, and they weren't trying to be serious. That's the only thing I could think of.
It was definitely having fun. You can tell.
Yeah. So that one, it's just how you look at it, in my opinion. At the time, I didn't think it was that bad. I watched it like a few weeks ago, and it's horrible, but it's 90s horrible.
I still don't feel like it's horrible. Like, I feel like for its time, it was what it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty well cast, like as far as people portraying the characters and stuff, except for a couple of people, obviously. But Van Damme you had to have, because who else would have made people care? And
plus he was the name at the time.
He was the name, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it made no sense for him to be Guile because he has a super strong Brussels accent.
No sense.
And he's all USA, which is kind of weird. But he was the guy. He was that guy for action, martial arts movies at that time. So it made sense. But
that story.
You want to get into the characters that didn't fit? Sagat.
Sagat. That made no sense. Sagat and Vega made no sense.
Well, actually, Vega. No, I meant of course, their story didn't make any sense for them being like homies and whatnot. That was weird. But I meant like the character, the guy who plays Sagat was like 5'2".
Oh, dude. Yeah.
He was way too small. And I think he was Spanish too.
Yeah, he was trying to do. They tried to make him look Thai, but it just didn't work.
I think he's like Colombian or something. He's
Ken and Ryu.
He was a good actor, though. I will give him that. He was a good actor.
Oh yeah. Ken and Ryu.
Ryu, okay.
Ken,
all right, but Ken, no. That dude was not Ken at all.
Damian Chopper. Now, if you don't know who that is, he played in like a lot of. He was in like because years later he was in Money Talks with Chris Tucker. He was a gangbanger. He usually played like gangbanger roles and stuff like that, or mob roles or something.
Blood In, Blood Out.
Yeah, Blood In, Blood Out. Weird movie.
That's strange.
Yeah. There was another one that he was in. So he played in those was his type of roles. So yeah, Byron Mann played Ryu. Now he's actually not bad. I've seen him in a few other things. Basically he's stereotyped to martial arts roles, of course, but it is what it is. So
he's charismatic. He's not brooding like Ryu is thought to be. He wasn't. He was more kind of almost comical, not really comical. He was a little brooding, but
he's had more. He came back with some sarcastic one-liners.
Yeah, he had some
that
one-liners.
actually worked.
That actually worked.
Yeah. In the movie, yeah. The guy that played Vega, I don't know who the hell that dude was.
No, but I thought he was perfectly cast. Like he looked like the Vega pretty boy to me.
I thought he was perfectly cast, but I'm like, dude, he's supposed to be a matador.
Yeah, well,
so you know what? I'll just roll.
What can you do? I mean, you got this pretty boy matador. How you gonna cast that? I mean, it works in a video game setting, but not so much as like a real person. So it's kind of hard.
Now that was funny.
And he did his move. He did the move from the game and everything. I thought he was perfect.
He did the role.
Yeah,
he did do the role, and it actually worked.
Yeah,
on screen. That actually did work.
It totally made sense.
I would give them that because that was the one thing. The fight scenes in there was not the problem.
No,
the fight scenes really weren't the problem.
It was them having to try to deal with the power moves, like the power, like the special moves, like the shoryukens, and like that. They didn't really deal with it. They just kind of did like a spinning uppercut from Ken. I remember that, and I was like, "Is that supposed to be?"
He never got in the air. He just
stood on the ground and kind of just twisted, turned around. I'm like, "Is that supposed to be? Really? That's supposed to be?"
Yeah.
Oh, come on! And it had a little flash on the screen. I think Ken did that, or not Ken. Ryu.
Ryu for the Hadouken.
Like a punch. Yeah, the Hadouken.
Yeah, but it was a punch.
It was a punch, and then it was like a really cheap editing flash on the screen. I was like, "What? That's awful."
It was awful, but I had to give it to him. The guy that played Zangief he was awesome.
He was perfect.
Oh, like, he was dumb as hell and awesome.
He was so funny too. He was just
him and DJ were comic relief. So
yeah, him and DJ. DJ shouldn't have been comic relief, but he was.
Yeah, he was. Because the thing was, they got Miguel Nunez to play, and Miguel Nunez at the time was hilariously funny because he'd always get cast in those comedic roles.
Yeah,
and I think he was ad-libbing. At one point, I just think he was ad-libbing because it's just the way he would do stuff. Like he knew he was in a BS movie, and he was like, "Dude,
they got like a Dominican brother to play a Jamaican dude." Yeah. I mean, I guess that's close. That's in the islands and in the Caribbean, so I'll roll with that. But his accent was just killing me, man.
His accent destroyed me. But he was wanting me back because he was the one. He was the one being the brother.
Yeah, he was all about that money, bro.
Yeah, he was about that money too.
He was like, "I got to get my paper, man. I ain't about all this. I don't care about your calls."
Like your calls, man. I'm gonna rob you when I'm gonna rob you. That's how much I care about your calls. Now, a lot of people get mad about Raul Julia being in the movie, especially since it was notably his last role.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Raul Julia played the part of insane dictator well.
Yeah, he was perfect as that. Like he had that down.
Yeah, it was just like he just didn't look like Bison.
Right, he wasn't a big Asian dude. But I mean, again, you can't really get everything from the video games to work, So
especially
who else are you gonna catch? He was a good villain.
Yeah, especially that game, especially that particular game, because once again, this is one of those situations where I don't think live action is the way to go for a Street Fighter game. If you really want to do a Street Fighter movie, you can't. I don't think live action is the way to go, just because, like we said, the over the top moves. Yeah. And I know people.
I feel like I can get it to work if they give me a budget, and I'll hook them up. But what they did was not the way to go. Like they had to go basically superhero style, like a superhero movie almost. If they want to make it like the video game.
Yeah, and that's gonna cost you about a good $150.
That's gonna cost you some. You can do it. I've seen some pretty good stuff on the cheap. You can do it.
We don't want no X-Men Apocalypse situation going on. So we're gonna have to spend a little bit more money.
No, we don't need that.
No.
But I've seen Guillermo del Toro do superhero movies for $50 million.
Yeah.
So in the Hellboy movies, and those are great. So it can be done.
It can be done. Now, second movie on our list. Let's move on down to 95 in that Mortal Kombat. Paul W.S. Anderson.
Oh,
the only video game movie he got right. Now, this one they did a good job, in my opinion, because they made sure to focus on the martial arts aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, if you're gonna plagiarize something, plagiarize Enter the Dragon, because Enter the Dragon did set up the tournament.
Yeah,
Like
they
it was
did.
supposed to be set it up. They set it
It
up in
was
Enter the Dragon.
1,000 tournament movies at the end of the Dragon.
Yeah. And if you go, like I said, if you're gonna plagiarize it, take it from there. And they didn't do a bad job on that animatronic Goro.
Yeah.
It
And
wasn't
honestly, this is the funny thing is that a lot of video games came from the idea of Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't have a Street Fighter game without Enter the Dragon. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
True.
It makes sense for it to do that. And same thing with Mortal Kombat, obviously. So those games exist likely because of Enter the Dragon. That's why you always end up with like a Bruce Lee-like character in those games. You got Fei Long in Street Fighter, and you got obviously you have Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. So that's it's an homage. Both of those games are an homage to Enter the Dragon. So.
And once again, like I will always say, the first Mortal Kombat movie, I liked how that was cast. I really did.
Yeah, it was well cast. I still have a problem with Christopher Lambert as
Raiden. That's probably the only one I had a problem.
The only one I had a problem. He's a good actor, but I needed the Asian dude up in there. I needed it.
At the time, I'm like, you know what? At the time him and the guy that played Shang Tsung was the biggest names in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the thing about this. Just like Van Damme in Street Fighter movie. They kind of had to have him because he had that kind of like lower budget sci-fi cred, fantasy cred from the Highlander movies and whatnot. So they probably had to get a name because they didn't have any other names in the entire movie. So although I would have liked to have, see, here's the funny thing. I don't know if you know this or not, but Johnny Cage was created based on Van Damme.
Oh yeah.
So he should have been Van Damme should have been cast as Johnny Cage because Johnny Cage, the character, was created because of Van Damme. So that could have been your name. Obviously, maybe they just worried about the conflict with him being in Street Fighter, the movie.
Yeah.
And maybe he wanted a little bit more money at the time. Who knows?
And nobody knew that was going to actually, because Mortal Kombat, the first one wound up being a major success. So
yeah, it was
it was actually because the critics loved it, and
it was a critical and commercial success. Yeah.
So at the time, they probably like, man, we don't know if this is gonna make that much. So, bro, we can't pay you.
But I mean, Street Fighter was the same though. They didn't expect Street Fighter to do. Yeah. I wouldn't expect them to think.
I thought Street Fighter was more of a commercial success, and critically, it kind of got.
Yeah, smashed critically.
Yeah, but it was more like that cult thing. Now, let's move on to one of my well, you know what? We could talk about the Tomb Raider movies because let's be honest, the very first Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie and Ian Glenn, it wasn't that bad.
And 007?
Yeah, him. It wasn't that bad. It really, the first one wasn't that bad. I thought
people forget that he's in them, but that was Daniel Craig up in there with an American accent. Strange.
It's really strange. But the first one was actually not bad. It really wasn't bad because to me it kind of told the line between actually doing stuff that was actually in like the first and second games, like with set location and stuff like that, and actually doing a decent enough story that actually worked. Because anything, when you look at Tomb Raider and even with Uncharted, you're looking at Indiana Jones. That's basically what you're looking at. So if you're gonna do a movie based off that, all you got to really do is just follow the template Indiana Jones did.
Get the character right, and then follow Indiana Jones. That's all you got to do.
That's pretty much all you have to do. And I think in the first one they did that.
Indiana Jones with a little bit of Batman, a little bit of Alfred and Bruce kind of relationship with her and the butler.
Yeah.
They kind of had that a little bit. They didn't go too in with that, but.
Because I thought it was going to do that in the second one, but then we got to the second one, and that just went.
I don't even want to talk about that one. See, I'm gonna go further than you by saying it's not that bad. It's not bad. I'm gonna say it's a good movie. Like I think the first Tomb Raider was a good movie, yet alone a good video game movie. So
yeah,
I watch that anytime.
Yeah, the first, like I said, once again, the first one, not Cradle of Life. One,
yeah, not Cradle of Life. No,
Cradle of Life. I don't think I ever finished it.
Cradle of Life killed that franchise.
Yeah, I know I didn't finish it.
I couldn't get through it.
Yeah, so I just the first one
is they started showing them trailers for like you'll believe a person can fly because she's diving out of a plane and she's like in a glide suit or something. I'm like, this movie's gonna be awful. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew
Well,
it then.
When I saw Jan de Bont on it, I'm like, okay. So yeah, I mean, sometimes people, you can probably find like the movie's probably gonna be messed up if you can see the director and you know who the director is.
Yeah, he's terrible. So
this isn't gonna end well. So the second movie did not end well. Now, now we get to that's around what 2002, 2003. Because back at that
Cradle of Life was like 2002, I would say.
Yeah. Because I was still working at the movie theater back then. So we get to Resident Evil. Paul W.S. Anderson, man, dude, bruh, you must be stopped at this point.
I mean, I guess the first one is the best one, but that ain't saying a whole lot.
That ain't saying a whole lot because one, they went so far in the left field, and I thought Resident Evil was a pretty simple story, really.
Yeah, what are they doing? They ruined what could have been a great movie franchise, I think.
Yeah, and then honestly, I think it's just done went on too long. It really
at this point, it's just like, let's make our check. We're gonna drop this in January. You know, the FU January. That's when it drops all its crap. Is in January. I don't know if you guys noticed that, moviegoers, but January is that month when the terrible movies get dropped. Like, or partially February too, but mostly January is when you get like, you know, The Legend of Hercules. You know, what's that?
Jupiter Ascending.
You get what's that? Egypt gods and
Gods of Egypt.
Yeah. So that's what they drop in January. So if you don't see
the first part of February.
First part of February, yes.
Yeah.
So, and movie drop during that time. That's not a comedy or rom-com or some kind of holiday movie. You know what time it is.
Yeah. You're not gonna like yourself. Just stay home and watch Netflix.
Yeah, do that. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah. But the Resident Evil movies, and here's I think my main problem with the Resident Evil movies is the interviews they do with Paul W.S. Anderson afterwards. Oh, I love the series. I'm like, if you love the series so much, can you stay in series?
Actually pull from the series?
Yeah. And stop just pulling out a certain character and just putting them in.
Yeah. We know it's your wife and everything.
Oh God.
And you don't want to change the female lead like the games do. But come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, bruh, you need to start telling people you love the game because we know you don't play it.
Yeah, come on.
Just stop saying that. But this new one
maybe he played like 6.
that ain't helping the situation.
Maybe he played like 5 and 6, and that's what he gets from Resident Evil. Like, he don't really understand, and it sucks because it started off, the first movie started off. Oh, you thought, oh yeah, this is gonna be like Resident Evil straight up. And boy, it just turned into it looked like what's your boy name? What's it? Uwe Boll. It turned into like a bad Uwe Boll movie.
Yeah. But for
quick.
Some kind of way, he keeps getting money and he keeps getting to use them fusion cameras.
Well, they make enough money. They make just enough domestically. They make more than money in the foreign market because unfortunately they don't know any better. They don't know what they're getting themselves into. And so that's what they do. I mean, at this point, it's a paycheck. It's this is what we're gonna put on the end of our fiscal, our fiscal statements for the year.
This is our tax write-off movie.
Exactly. So
this is what we giving to charity.
Seriously.
Well, here's the problem that I have with that whole situation, because what Capcom went and did back in, I want to say 2005 or 6. Don't quote me on the year, people. All right, but they did 2 CG movies, Degeneration and Damnation. Those 2 movies are actually Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
With Resident Evil characters in it, with Resident Evil
good too, man.
Issues, and they're actually good movies. I know a lot of people don't really go for the CG stuff, but they're actually very good movies.
I thought they were well done.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Now, here's the problem that I have with the live action movies that Mr. Anderson and I think Arne Milken did, and that's because the world's Umbrella has already won in the live action series. they've already won. There's no reason for them to be evil, and they're still trying to be evil.
Like, and they're still doing these experiments. It doesn't make any sense. It's like you already destroyed the world. What are you experimenting for? What are you trying to make money? It's like that. Money is not a motivation. Give me a break.
Yeah. So
in this post-apocalyptic world,
and now
care about money.
Once again, in the games, it's not like that because in the games, it's only pockets. It's a place here. It's a city here. It's never even the whole country. Yeah. In the movies, it's the whole world.
The whole world.
So I'm like, who are you trying to save? Brother, you've won. What are you being evil for?
Who's controlling the little mercenary groups and stuff too? Like the good guys, like where are they coming from?
Where are they getting all? First of all, and this is going to be the part that's probably going to make a lot of people that actually like those movies mad at me. If it's a post-apocalyptic world, explain to me how Ali Larter has Pantene Pro V in her hair. Where she find makeup at, and
why does she care to put on makeup when like you can get any dude you want? You can get anybody you want, no matter what you look like in that world. I would think because there's not a lot of choices.
Your choices is this dude that ain't dead or a zombie. Take your pick.
Or Superman Wesker, whatever he is. I don't know what that dude's supposed to be.
And that dude, because that's the last one I've seen. I want to say it was Extinction, the one with him in it, and he talks like this with his mouth closed the whole time.
God. I'm like, so cartoony.
Open your mouth.
It's so cartoony, over the top.
What director saw that and said, "Yeah, that's a good take right there"?
Paul W.S. That's who.
Yeah, him. So, yeah, those movies. I'm sorry, people. If you like that series, okay.
Didn't he bring us Predator, Alien versus Predator as well?
Yes, he did.
So this is the dude we talking about here, folks.
Yeah.
Like this dude doesn't have a great track record.
I don't think I finished that one either. I think like halfway through it, I'm like, man, this is.
I went to the theaters. I was so hyped, man.
Oh, see, I didn't go to the theaters. Oh
man, and boy, I wanted my money back about halfway through. I was like, it's got to get better. It's got to get better.
No.
Nope. Oh man.
Hot garbage.
Garbage.
So now we move on a little bit, and then we did have that Final Fantasy Spirits Within movie, but I'm not gonna bring that up because one, that wasn't Final Fantasy, and two, I don't know who did that. So
the Spirits Within, that's what that movie was. Don't take Final Fantasy off that movie. It was not Final Fantasy at all. Only thing that the movie had to do with Final Fantasy is that Square made it. That's the only. That's the only connection.
And they put Final Fantasy.
Right. They put Final Fantasy anything. Like that's it.
Now you move on to like 2000. I want to say 5, 6, and you have Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children. Okay, now this one is a little bit weird because it's a fetish movie for Final Fantasy 7 fans. It really is. For a moviegoer, the story don't make no damn sense. It don't really follow nothing from the game. They show you locales and different stuff from the game, but it really don't.
They're clouds in it.
Yeah, you know what you're there for. You there to see Cloud fight Bahamut Sin and Sephiroth.
That's right.
And
that's what you there for.
They deliver on that, and they deliver on that. So I had to give them props for that because I'm like, at about 30 minutes into the movie, I'm like, I know what I'm here for. I'm just waiting to get there.
I'm just waiting to get to that. Yeah.
I know what I'm here for. And the action sequences, I have to give props on that. The action sequences were freaking amazing for a CG
pretty
movie.
Damn good. Yes.
Yes. So I mean,
I'm gonna wade through this convoluted ass storyline.
I'm gonna wade through this bullshit and get to my favorite scenes because it's like exactly. I want to say it's like 6 scenes that are actually off the chain. In that movie, and it's work. Once again, the story don't make no sense, people. So if you're going in there for story, I'm sorry. But like I said, it's a fetish. It's a fetish film for people, for fans of Final Fantasy VII. It really is. Yep. But I have to give them once again. I have to give Square Enix props because they know what their fans want, and they gave it to you because there's a decent Bahamut Sin fight. The Sephiroth fight is basically 5.5 minutes of Sephiroth beating the crap out of Cloud and 30 seconds of Cloud winning.
Yep, that's it. It was kind of like it reminded me of the Scar versus Simba fight.
Yeah,
Simba got one good hit, and that was
that's
it.
all it took.
He was getting his butt kicked the whole fight, and he got one good lick in. That's it.
And that's it. So basically, that's what happened in that one. Now, I do like. I kind of. I had to give. I kind of wish Square Enix would do more of that a little bit. Just tighten their stories up.
Yeah, that
You
money
know.
tight right now though.
Yeah, the money tight. They came.
They
But
did that back when they had Sony. That Sony.
giving them blank checks.
Exactly. Can't do
But
that now.
well, they did release Kingsglaive. Now, that came out, and I want to say it was in theaters a couple weeks ago, but it was only a limited time engagement. It was kind of like what they did with that Dragon Ball Resurrection of F movie. It was only there. It was only in theaters for a week. So, but from what I read of, because it wasn't in my area, so I couldn't watch it. But from what I read of the critics' reviews, it sounded like the problems with that movie was the same problems I had with Avid Children, which is story don't make no damn sense. But the action sequences are actually good. And that's what keeps you going through the movie because they do a good job of pacing. From what I read, I haven't seen it, so this is what I read, people. And I'm like, in that case, I'm like, it's a give and take sometimes. But hey, whatever, it is what it is. It's Final Fantasy. I don't expect Academy Award winning writing on this.
Right.
I really don't. I expect to be entertained, and if I can be entertained, then that's fine with me. Now we're getting into the part of the conversation where we talk about movies that we think could get made, and which director needs to stay the hell away from it.
Before we get there, can we just
Uh-huh.
touch on Ratchet and Clank / Sly
Yeah,
Cooper?
yeah. Is Sly Cooper on the shelf?
That's why I want to talk about it because I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
on the shelf now, especially since Ratchet and Clank bombed miserably.
Which it shouldn't have bombed. That movie ain't that bad.
It's not that bad, but it didn't do anything. It should have done better.
Yeah.
But it didn't do anything special. But
they came out in February.
I think they picked the wrong mascots. For one, Ratchet and
Okay.
Clank belongs to Insomniac, right?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least I don't know if Sony has the IP rights to the IP or not, but Insomniac made Ratchet and Clank. Why didn't they do? Because I think it would fit way better. Why didn't they do Jack and Daxter? That's where they should have spent.
I didn't think about that.
That's where they should have spent their money on. Jack and Daxter was way more ripe for an animated film or even a cartoon series because it fits more to me. And it's Naughty Dog, and Sony obviously still owns Naughty Dog. That made more sense to me, and that would have been the game they could have remade, but and put out with the movie and stuff. I think it would have done better. Jack and Daxter, I think it would have fit better.
Well, the thing is, like, I can see that, and it's kind of like a pick your poison type deal, I guess,
Yeah.
because Ratchet and Clank is. I don't know why critics. I don't know what critics were thinking when they went in to see that movie, but I finally got a chance to see it, and I'm like, dude, this isn't bad. I don't understand why, critics were bashing it. I still don't.
I think one of the biggest gripes was that I've seen a lot of people saying the same thing, that it felt like the movie was like leftover cut scenes from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like they were saying the animation wasn't really like what you expect. I mean, Pixar is like the standard, which everybody can't do that. Yeah. But
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, if you had, that's the one thing about, because when I watched it, yeah, I can see where it probably would have been better if like a Pixar or DreamWorks animation had a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't. I'm one of those guys. You can't hold that against them if you don't see
right.
that name on there.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it was just like the writing and that stuff wasn't as sharp. It wasn't as funny as it could have been or it should have been for that type of movie. So that was the main gripes. But it shouldn't have done what it did, like 4 million, something like
4 million. It was
atrocious.
It was bad,
that's.
I mean, here's how bad it did. Dragon Ball Evolution made more money.
Dragon Ball Evolution made more money than Ratchet and Clank.
That should have never happened. That should never happen on Earth.
Never.
No.
That should never happen.
But once again, I kind of blame. Once again, I go back and blame Sony. I don't think they did enough marketing for it either. I mean,
You want to know a weird fact that you brought up Dragon Ball Z? I don't want to go too far towards it. I just want to quickly say this. The TV show, Showtime, I think it's Showtime movie or show Shameless, stars both two characters. You know what I'm talking about? It stars Goku and what's her name?
And Bulma.
Bulma from the I'm like, that is so weird.
It is so weird because it's
like, oh, they saw that movie and like, oh yes, these two are perfect chemistry.
And I'm sitting there like
they're boyfriend and girlfriend in the show.
Yeah,
or at least they were.
They were, and they got a couple of raunchy scenes, and you sitting there
they
like,
got some scenes, yeah.
I'm sitting there like,
this is strange.
This is awful. This is awfully unsettling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Hilariously funny, by the way. Hilariously funny.
Yeah.
But if they would have did Jack and Daxter, though, I think they probably would have ran into the same problem if people were complaining about the writing. Because, like I said, I didn't think the writing was that bad, but it wasn't great. It wasn't perfectly. But then again, I wasn't expecting.
Well, what I'm saying is, I think they could have not just, I guess, went for the younger market. They could have gotten an older crowd in.
Yeah.
Like, a teens, mid-teens.
Make it like a PG-13 movie and make it like a Big Hero. How they did Big Hero 6.
Yeah, they could have. Exactly. It could have got a little bit of a darker story that would work for, an older crowd. And they would have had a better shot. That,
that probably doesn't
Jack's supposed to be a little bit more.
Dax is the one that's the crazy one.
Yeah.
Daxter is the one that don't never shut up. He the Deadpool of that freaking video game. He don't never shut up. So
I think with that world, maybe some better writing, that would have had a better chance to be a franchise. Even they could have made more movies.
Yeah, if you couldn't get Pixar, I would have actually went and seen if I could have made a deal with DreamWorks Animation.
DreamWorks, yeah.
I mean, if you can't get Pixar, get them, because I'm gonna tell you right now, where Pixar has the probably the better standard part of writing and stuff, DreamWorks has a way better 3D.
Yeah, I mean, this just has not been a good year for Sony Pictures.
No,
the last couple of years, especially.
Yeah, well, they're gonna make all their money back come next July.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, people, one superhero is having a homecoming and Sony's getting the cut.
Spidey,
and a cut of $1 billion probably gonna look real good to Sony Pictures.
Yeah, it's gonna look real nice.
Yeah, and they ain't have to do nothing. So, I mean, that's what that is. Now, as we go and we see like a lot of movies, because they're rebooting Tomb Raider, but they're getting Alicia Vikander. She was in AI and the new Jason Bourne movie. Oh God, I don't know why she chose that one, but she's gonna be your new Lara Croft. Okay, and they want to base this one off of the new video games, off the rebooted video games. Okay, all right, I don't see a problem with that. Let's see how it goes. I don't know.
She was an Ex Machina, right? That was
yeah.
She was the robot.
The robot in that one. So, I don't know. I don't know. I want to see who's directed. They haven't said yet. And as me and T both know, directors mean a lot.
A whole lot.
As Gambit, because he can't keep one. But they're doing that one. There have been rumblings of an Uncharted movie, which, once again, here's my problem with the whole Uncharted thing. Even with Tomb Raider in some aspects, it's Indiana Jones.
Yeah. The main thing with
and they're both kind of the same,
is that you have to nail the lead guy. Like, he has to be. That's why Indiana Jones worked. Yes, those were great movies, but I mean, Harrison Ford made those movies greater. Like, he made those movies, so you have to nail. And the thing about Uncharted is that if you're an Uncharted fan like me, you want what's his name? You want
Nolan North.
Nolan North. But they're not gonna pick Nolan North because he's 5'0". So,
which they actually should anyway.
They should though. They should still do it
Tom
anyway.
Cruise can still get Jack Reacher.
Exactly.
That ain't no excuse. At this
and
point.
you know what the guy. You know what Drake looks like. You know what he sounds like. And you throw somebody else in there, it ain't gonna work for me as a fan. Like, I want Nolan North. So,
and I think that's one of probably the biggest problems with video game movies is. Yeah. A lot of these video games are fully voice acted.
Right.
We know what the character sounds like.
Yep. We know what they look like. They have realistic faces.
Yeah. So let me tell you something. If you want to do God of War, and I don't hear T.C. Carson, and y'all put Vin Diesel in there
Man.
as Kratos, and all he's talking about is family. We got his family.
Oh gosh.
I'm not gonna like that movie.
Nope.
And it's not gonna be because it could probably have stellar writing, it could probably have stellar action. I'm probably not gonna like the movie because that ain't Kratos.
Right.
That's the problem. I think a lot of these live action movies are gonna start having, especially from the video game side, because we done went in video games so far to the whole we want all this photorealism, fully voice acted, fully orchestrated, all this to where when it comes to people want to option them into movies, and they can't get that actor because that actor don't look nothing like
the character he talks for.
Yeah,
you're like, no.
So you better hope you get Walt Disney to show y'all how they did Jungle Book.
Seriously,
some of these characters, because I don't know. I think that's going to be a major hurdle for people to get over. Honestly.
Because you have to nail the lead character. You have to nail him.
Yeah.
Like, if you want the fans there, we know, what that character is like. And if you want the general audience there, you got to get somebody who's super charismatic and fits that role. And that's not an easy thing to do. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
And I'm sorry, The Rock can't play in everything.
No, he can't.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably the most charismatic actor in the Hollywood right now. Right. And he can't be in everything. So
right. So it's just, everybody can't, like you said, Rock cannot play everything. We want him to.
Yeah.
But he can't do it, man.
He really can't. So when you because what it was, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago. They were hard up for doing a God of War movie, and they even sent out. I remember there was a tweet going out that should it be in CG or should it be live action? I said CG, and I got asked like, why? Well, why do you say that? I'm like, because T.C. Carson is the voice of Kratos. And
the problem is we've already had God of War movies in live action, and they're called what?
Clash of the Titans and
Clash of the Titans. I mean, it's right there. Like, what are you gonna do to one up that? Like that's.
I mean, the only thing you can do is go ultra violent, and you ain't gonna make no money on C-17.
You ain't make no money
unless you do it straight to DVD.
Because gamers ain't gonna be enough to prop that movie up. I'm sorry.
Nope. So you're gonna have to go PG-13, and that's gonna piss a lot of people off.
Right.
And unfortunately, I mean, especially since everybody think that, oh well, Deadpool made a lot of money. It was rated R. Yeah, but everybody ain't Deadpool.
Yeah, and that movie, I mean, that was a process. It was a process of years of people wanting it, and the talks, and then the leaked footage, and that was a process. Why that movie came to that. Not every movie is going to do that just because it's R. Don't make that mistake.
Yeah, and let's be honest.
And the perfect lead actor to play the freaking role. I mean, that's just, again.
I mean, that's half his comedy is like him not shutting up.
Right.
So you have to
just
know,
plug anybody into that.
Yeah, you have to know what you want to go, where you want to go. That's why I'm saying, like, for me, like a lot of stuff, I think it would probably come off better if. Because people are over here, they're now becoming more acclimated, I should say, to CG movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're already like big in Japan, because let's be real, Japan has animated films all the time off their animes and stuff like that. Right. So
they make just as much as live action stuff over there. Boy.
Yeah, so we're just not getting acclimated to that over here. So I know everybody, like I said, once again, I understand how everybody's like, oh,
I can't take it seriously if it's CG.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can, because if it's done properly and the story's good, yeah, you can.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they're thinking of a lot of people.
Yeah, and I hear them same lies, and them folks be in the theater with me and be like, you don't know how many people I saw in Dragon Ball Resurrection F last August.
It was packed in there, huh?
It was packed in there, and these were some of the same people that was in the lobby when I was getting my drink, talking about, well, I can't get into a movie that's animated. It just doesn't. I don't feel it the same. By the end of that movie, they was standing up clapping, and they weren't drunk. So that being said,
the producers of Dragon Ball Z Evolution, they were drunk. That's who was drunk.
Yeah, they were drunk. Well, he tried to get he tried to get Black Panther, right?
Love.
Yeah, that's another story for another time. But yeah, that's just
Yeah.
hilarious. But
We'll talk about that on First Take, I guess.
yeah,
That's oh man.
that was awesomely hilarious. But
I said First Take. Listen to me. Fresh Take.
yeah, well, we don't want Stephen A. Smith talking about us on Twitter. Lord
Yes.
knows he in a war with Martavius Bryant, because I'm gonna say something to
Man.
him if he come at me. But that being said, there are a couple of moves that I think, a couple of games that I think can actually work. But I think it's one of those situations where they make him work live action, but I would rather them not do that.
Yeah.
And one of them is Metroid. And I say that because of Appleseed Ex Machina.
Mm.
If you do it in the style like that cell shade CG hybrid style, I think it can work.
That's where you got to
Especially,
go.
yeah, especially if you have like a good Jennifer Hale as Samus, and you have a good story for it. I think it could actually work wonders. The reason why I say I don't want that live action, because you're gonna have a director who's gonna sit up and try to make her this maternal, loving mother who
No.
wants to find love, and she's in love with Adam Malkovich, and she doesn't understand why they can't be. You see what the problem is, people.
Right. You could put a flirt story in there. I don't want no love story in my Metroid.
Not no Metroid.
No.
I want to see her do her. I want to see her.
Basically, what they did with Tomb Raider, like she had a little flirtatious little thing going on, but it wasn't no love story.
Nope.
Had nothing, that was not important to the overall movie.
Yeah.
And
there are certain elements in the Metroid movie that must happen, like her killing everything and blowing up of a space station or a planet.
She's Ripley in a robot suit.
Basically.
So, like that whole Metroid is based on, the Giger stuff, the alien stuff. So that's where you got to go. It's got to be isolated. It's got to be, creepy. As a gamer who loves Metroid, who's also a filmmaker, I think I could do some beautiful. I could make some beautiful music with Metroid. But you would be fighting with the studio, tooth and nail, everywhere. Like all the decisions I would like to make for it. I can see myself fighting with the executives. No. It's got to be this way. No. We want more people to blah blah blah. I could totally see it. And that's the downside of it.
And that's why I'm like, to do it justice, you just have to CG. You have to CG the thing, and the story has to be tight. But the thing is, you can't do you can't do it like what some people would want, and some people.
If I can go in and like Nintendo is executive producer, I'm all set. Like if you can do that, what I'm saying? Like as long as it's not some Hollywood executive, if Nintendo funds the movie themselves, and great. But that's a perfect scenario that probably wouldn't happen. So
yeah, that probably would not happen. Well, it might happen now because Kimishima there, and he ain't gonna take no bullshit. It might happen now, but that's one of them. The other one. Well, the only other one that I would actually want to see, well, there's two of them that I would actually want to see. One of them is actually Fire Emblem. I actually think Fire Emblem would actually work, especially since everybody is in love with Game of Thrones. I would love to see Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem is basically a PG-13 version of Game of Thrones. It just doesn't have incest sex in it. So
thank goodness.
So it has way more dragons. Just 3. So I mean, I think that especially, like I said, especially since everybody's in love with Game of Thrones, Fire Emblem would actually work, because one of the OVA, they did an OVA years ago for the very first Fire Emblem game, where Marth pretty much got screwed over bad. Right. So I can see that actually working. And then in the other one is The Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda, of course.
Now here's the problem with Legend of Zelda. I can actually see that being more live action because of like something like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I can actually see it's gonna take a Lord of the Rings type director.
Yeah, it's gonna take a Peter Jackson to pull that off. Somebody with a pedigree of that to pull that off, because the simple fact of how it would have to work. In thinking about it like that, I don't think any studio.
Honestly, I wouldn't trust it in anybody else's hands. Like, I wouldn't trust it. The guy, he understands that kind of fantasy. Like, he understands it. Like, he totally gets it. You got other people that do, Peter Jackson light, but that ain't gonna be good enough for me. I need
The
I
man.
need Lord of the Rings. I need the man. Only person I would settle for is like a Guillermo del Toro. Like he's the only person I would settle for outside of Peter Jackson. But Peter Jackson is who you want to make The Legend of Zelda. That's it.
And that's the only other thing though. How would you go about explaining to getting a studio to invest in it? Because it's going to take.
Well, if Peter Jackson says yes, I want to do it. You don't have to.
Oh, you ain't got to do that.
Like you ain't got to tell nobody nothing. All right, sir, let's do this. You know
what you
Peter
need.
Jackson. I mean, that's $600 million off top. I mean, that's just it's gonna hit. So.
You just
doing a Legend of Zelda, like come on, that's a match made in heaven. Like you ain't got to convince nobody, you ain't got to talk to nobody.
You do that, and you put it out in December, and you just won
December. They already got half of the swords they need, so
only thing they got to make is the Master Sword. That's
really that's all they got to do. Make the Master Sword. They good to go. Put some put some special emblems on the other sword. They need some shields, need some Hylian shields and all that kind of stuff, Hylian shields. But other than that, they're almost there. So. That's how you can sell it to anybody. It's like, oh well, Weta's on board. Yeah. Peter Jackson's on board. Let's go.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap right there. So,
but and that's the thing. So I wouldn't mind seeing that live action. I would probably want to. But
that's the only way I would want to see it live action.
Yeah. Other than that, if you can't do it like that, animated, not CG. I want hand drawn animation. And the only reason why I say that, and this is Masahiro Sakurai's fault. Smash Bros. That's his fault.
Oh boy, yeah.
That's the reason why I want to see it animated. That is his fault.
Let's get both then. We can get both.
Yeah. I mean, and for God's sake, if
we can get a DVD release, Blu-ray release for the animation one and live action in the movie theater, that I'm cool with that.
The only thing though, if I had to hear one more person say Link can't talk,
oh, man, he got to talk. Come on,
LA people. Freaking talk. If you play the games, people talk to him.
Yeah, he talks.
They're responding to him, which means he can freaking talk.
Right. We just don't hear him talk because he's supposed to be us.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So it's not like he can't talk. He's not mute.
Not mute. Right. Jesus. But that, like I said, that being said, so those are the movies. Like I said, and Fire Emblem to me, just the story just sells itself, especially once again, like I said. If you want to do Game of Thrones light, because it's still gonna have action and violence in it, because those games are violent as hell, but you don't have to worry about the gratuitous amount of the word fuck and incest sex. So you don't have to worry about those in a Fire.
A little bit too much.
You just don't have to worry about that, and you don't have to worry about Littlefinger. Peter Baelish. You don't have to worry about him. But I would like I said, I would actually like to see like a Fire Emblem thing made. Now, Fire Emblem, they do that cell shaded CG mix too on their cutscenes, which are actually beautiful. So I wouldn't know if I would actually want live action.
Yeah,
that is actually beautiful. So I would actually like to see them do that, like a full, movie or like a 13 episode like series, just to see how it would hit with people, how it would resonate with people. Just because I like how they do that. Now, like I said, live action wise, it can be done because of what they've done with Game of Thrones. But the problem is with that, you'd have to have those mythological creatures in there a little way more than they do in Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones, for budgetary concerns, can't put dire wolves in there every episode,
right? Like
they're supposed to be. They have to save that money for like 2 or 3 episodes a year, and that's basically what that is. But that's why I'm like, if you do something like that, then it will probably be better off as CG, in my opinion, just because it would be much easier to do. Your whole thing's already laid out, so the money shouldn't be that much of an issue, I guess I would say.
No, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be if you do it that way.
Yeah, if you do it right, you can.
Yeah. Now, there's some people who saying like, well, what about Halo? I actually like Halo.
Yeah.
But me and T on Fresh Take, we actually did a review of Halo Nightfall. Go back and listen to that and see what our problem with Nightfall was.
Yeah, just do yourself a favor and go check that out.
Now, in short, I will say it's not bad at first.
No.
But there is a problem with the Halo series, and I think the problem with the Halo series is the people that's making it. Because if they would have just gone on and let Neil Blomkamp make Halo,
Right.
like he's been wanting to do,
Like he's been wanting to do forever.
yeah, we wouldn't have this problem right
Him and
now.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah, we wouldn't have this problem right now. But because of reasons, we can't. And like I said, Halo Nightfall was not bad at first. His
Nope.
problems came on a little bit later. So
Keywords being at first.
yeah, at first. So I would tell anybody, like, if you are one of those people that think like Halo could work, because Halo can and can't work in my opinion. Forward Unto Dawn was not bad, but at the same time, it was one of those things where you could tell it was low budget.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of stuff they had to do, the changes they had to make, which were necessary because I don't think they had the money to do what they wanted to do. It actually kind of worked, but it actually worked against it too, toward once you get toward the climax of the story, which is basically, and this isn't a spoiler because that thing came out in 2012. So if you hadn't seen it yet, that's between you and whatever deity you serve.
I'm crying.
Yeah. When the Covenant attacks at close to the end of that series, that's where to me it kind of hurt a little bit, because they made it seem like it was like a all out blitzkrieg attack, but you don't really see nothing.
Right.
And in a situation like that, you need to see it. You need to see the elites come out. You need to see, it shouldn't be just one elite that's invisible.
Right.
If you catch my drift, you need to see the elites and stuff like that. Halo Nightfall, once again, great. They did a great job at first, but at the end, I would say like halfway through episode 3, if you are a fan of Aliens and what was that other sci-fi horror movie? It's another one. It's another one that Ridley Scott did. Anyway, it's like they were trying to impress Ridley Scott because he was executive producer, and it kind of worked against it, in my opinion. Because episode from 4 and 5 after that was just like, okay, this is okay. Why did y'all go that route? Y'all didn't have to go that route. Why did you go that route? You were doing good. All you had to do was stick the landing, and you couldn't stick the landing.
Couldn't stick the landing.
Because you saw Ridley Scott, like, we got Ridley Scott. He's yes, I'm going to impress my mentor.
No,
so
you
failed miserably. So that being said, I mean, I can see a Halo movie getting done, but it will probably take a visionary mind, but he'd have to be paired with a great writer.
Yeah.
To do it. And money would have to be spent.
Yes.
Money would have to be spent, and I'm not talking about $100 million, because it's gonna take more than that. It's gonna take more than that to do it right. It's gonna take more than that, because when you get to those crescendo moments, you're gonna need to see it's war basically. So that's gonna be a lot of CG. There's gonna be a hell of a lot of CG, and plus to do the Spartans properly, where the Spartans are, I think the best way they've shown Spartans to date has been in Halo 5, where they actually show a Spartan walking next to a regular soldier. Yeah, there's a very big difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
There's a very big difference. So if that's the case, it's going to take some more movie tricks and CG, and that's just going to cost money. So I don't think it'll be like Transformers costing money, where it's like 250 plus, but it is probably going to be close to like the 225.
Yeah.
At least million. I'm talking about 225 million.
Yeah, million.
So because you have to get like the different, because people are going to want to see brutes, they're going to want to see elites. You don't want, and now they're probably going to want to see the warden. So
you
want to go see the Spartans, because it's more than just a Master Chief, and that's what you would have to have in the movie to do it, especially if you want to do a live action. That's what you would have to have. So I'm not saying it can't be done. It's just going to take.
It's going to be some work.
Yeah, it's going to be some work, and I already know who will probably do all the weapons and stuff. I just let Weta do it. They do the best job anyway. Shoot, screw it. Just option Weta.
They chilling. The Hobbit movies are done. They chilling. Yeah. So
I know they're gonna have to hand make half of that mess, but yeah, I mean they'll do it.
They love doing it. They love that stuff.
That's their thing. So I would probably option them to do all my armors and stuff like that, and just go with trying to craft a good story, get a good director, because Michael Bay and Zack Snyder ain't gonna cut it.
Mm,
They just not on a movie like that. You would probably need
no.
you would need like a Steven Spielberg, Peter Jackson, Guillermo del Toro type that can
Yeah,
actually
somebody
work with
who
actors
understand. Yeah,
and understand story to actually pull that off.
right. You gotta have it. You gotta have that.
Yeah, I
It can't just
mean,
be all about the visuals.
no, you can't get Doug Lyman. That ain't gonna work. That's
I
just
think
not
that's the
gonna work
biggest
for that.
problem with video games and movies is that people think people on the outside look at video games and they think it's all about how it is visually, but gamers care about story too. We care about all that nuance and stuff too.
Yeah,
You got to have that in the movies based on those games.
it's especially nowadays. Like back in probably back like in the you know
Mid
early
90s, you
'90s,
probably could
mid
get away
'90s,
with it.
you
Yeah,
you could have got away with it. But now we done seen too much good
yeah,
stuff,
we're too
and most of it,
sophisticated now.
yeah, there have been too many good movies that were made better because the story was actually good.
Mm-hmm.
That we just can't take the BS as it stands.
Yep.
So that to me that's what the main thing is now. As far as like other like, because not every video game I think can work as a movie. Let's just be real. Not I'm not going to see a Sunset Overdrive movie. I wouldn't want to.
No, that would
Um,
be no,
I just wouldn't want to. I like
not
that.
live action anyway, for
Yeah,
sure.
not live action. I just wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see a live action Super Mario Brothers. We already tried that once. It failed miserably. Let's not ever try that again. So, I wouldn't want to see that in live action. I would want to see, not everything would work. So, I mean, God knows if they ever try to do a live action Star Fox, I can't wait to hear the furry comments that will be made for that one.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, not everything works, but I think some of them can, and I think like the ones that we got, like the Lara Crofts and the Uncharted, they'll be fine, just because I think those are like, I don't want to say easy. Well, I'm gonna say I think those are easier to do because of the movies that they actually based the games off of.
Right.
They were based off of Indiana Jones, so those are easier to swallow, I should say, as opposed to something like um what's a game that's good that people want, like as opposed to something like a Halo or something like a Legend of Zelda or something like that, because like I said, we've already had that live action to begin with.
Mm.
We cannot
Jeez, I'm going blank for some reason.
go with Soul
Of
Calibur.
that tier, Gears
Go with
of
Soul
War.
Calibur. Oh yeah, Gears of War. Yeah, Gears of War could probably work, but I think what the problem with that will probably be in casting.
Yeah,
Marcus Phoenix,
you
man.
gotta cast some big charismatic dudes.
And I'm sorry, football season is in, so we can't really get who we need, because they're a bunch of let's be honest, they're a bunch of football players, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have Rob Gronkowski. You're gonna have to have you're gonna have to have Terrell Suggs. You're gonna have to have
You gotta have T-Sizzle. You gotta have T-Sizzle,
yeah,
man.
you're gonna have to, because when you look at the Gears of War cast, what do they look like? Linebackers and tight ends,
Yep.
and offensive linemen.
Yeah, lineman. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's another one that will probably cost a hell of a lot of money, because of the aliens you have to deal with, the locusts and all that. Yeah, and plus the weapons you'd have to. It would, to me, that would probably be one of those ones where they would probably have to stick to CG for the time being, just because it would cost too much to make.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Like every movie like that, or every game. Yeah, I guess games and movies that are like, have those big, soldier type characters. I feel like all that came from Predator. Like the air when they're getting ready to go, when they get ready to land
Oh
in
yeah,
the scene where they're all in the plane and whatnot. I feel like every video game that has a bunch of soldiers in it is based on that scene from Predator.
Jesse
Like
the Body Ventura,
Jesse,
Creed, Apollo Creed.
there was some great dialogue in that plane scene.
Yeah, I mean that's probably one of the best parts of the movie, actually.
Yeah, it is. I feel like a lot of movies and video games to some extent are based on that scene from Predator.
which reminds me, we'll probably wrap this up on this one. They should have went on and did that Contra movie back in the '90s with Stallone and Schwarzenegger like they were supposed to, because Contra was that game that the Republicans would love.
Oh man,
I'm sorry, that's that game.
You know, I learned this about it recently. I was just looking at like artwork and stuff. So obviously, I forgot what their names are in the game, the Contra soldiers.
I forgot what they are too.
But they're based on, you know, Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, right? So
they are?
Yeah. Well, the guy, if you look at the cover, there's a guy, Sylvester Stallone like character is, you know, facing the camera, has a gun. That's ripped right from Predator. If you put there's a Predator poster. Of Arnold Schwarzenegger with the gun. It is completely. It looked like somebody traced that and changed the dude's face. It is just like that shot. So look it up if you don't believe me. But the funny thing is that the scene, you know, what's his name behind him, the Stallone-like character that's behind him in that shot on the cover art, that's actually Arnold Schwarzenegger again in it was a different movie. It was Commando.
Because I always thought they took it like from Rambo and Commando.
But it's obviously it's Rambo because he has a red bandana, he has dark hair. I mean, the guy is Rambo. But what I'm saying is they took that from a still from Commando.
Wow.
So look it up. If you don't believe me, look it up. Both of those are actually
awesome.
It's so cool, right? Both of those are actually from Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, even though they're obviously an homage to Stallone and Schwarzenegger. But it is so weird. I saw them side by side. I was like, wow.
But see, that's what I never understood why that movie never got made. Like Contra would have worked back in like the with the macho heroes. That would have worked. Now that one would have worked.
Easy. And you throw aliens in there? Like, come on.
With them two?
Commando with aliens and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone? Come on, man. Yeah. That script writes itself.
Yeah. I'm surprised nobody jumped on that.
Missed opportunities, man. Missed opportunities.
Nobody jumped on that. But we got Last Action Hero instead.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Don't remind me.
So I'm like, dude, that would have been the perfect movie for them to make together. Would have been Contra.
Yes.
Before the Expendables, Contra. And just have them just go ham.
Right. Because there's no Gears of War without Contra.
Oh yeah, heck no.
That is definitely an homage to.
I mean, what other game would give you killer dogs, aliens that are snipers that for some odd reason snipe you from right above you, so all you have to do is point your gun up.
Yeah. People complain, "Oh, I want a new Contra." You already got one. It's called Gears of War, son. That's the evolution of Contra.
Basically, I mean, and on top of that, you wouldn't want a new Contra. That game was too hard. You had to play with somebody.
Oh yeah, it's a throwback. It is an arcade, coin snatcher.
Playing that game by yourself is not cool. It's just not cool. You can do it, but it's not.
You can drive a car with your feet, but you know what I mean? That's a good idea.
I mean, that's just one of those situations where that game to me was meant to be played with two people.
Although I will boast that I can beat Contra, and I'm going to show it on my channel at some point. I can beat Contra without the Konami code.
Oh, I can't beat it without the Konami code. Hell no.
Oh yeah, I can do it without the Konami code. So stay tuned for that. I gotta prove it, just like I did my Mario playthrough.
I need the Konami code, and I need a human shit. I mean, a second player.
I might use all my continues, but I will beat it with just the 3 lives. I can do it.
Because I tried one time. I was just like, man, screw this. Let me put this code in. I think I made it off the first stage onto the second one, and I just couldn't. After that, I was just like, man, y'all they didn't give me no spread. Yeah, it was pointless after that. It was just pointless.
I would say the arcade version of Contra.
Oh, ain't that the hardest game known to man?
It looked good, but boy, it'll have you crying. It will have you crying.
After take all your money.
Oh boy, I have it. I have a coin op emulator, so I have Contra, the arcade one, and boy, it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke, man.
Yeah, I remember. I think I played that one time. I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good.
I started playing it. I was used to NES one, so I started playing in an arcade one day, and I'm like, "Whoa, this is kind of different." Because it's definitely layout set up different, and it's definitely harder. It's definitely meant to steal your quarters. That's what it does.
That one and Afterburner. Oh, and
Oh
Ultra Beast.
boy. Oh boy.
So yeah, those. Yeah. Oh man, if they would have made an Afterburner after they made Top Gun, missed opportunities.
Missed opportunities, man. That's all you can say. Missed opportunities.
Well, people, that does it for this fresh takeover of the Gamers at Large. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to catch more, just head on over to the Geek Alley, regular Geek Alley channel, not the Geek Alley Gaming channel, but the regular Geek Alley channel. You can see we got a playlist of all our episodes. We do have a 25th episode coming up sometime next month. Yeah, sometime next month. Yeah, we'll do it sometime next month. We'll do that then, and we'll let you know more as we get close to that time. T, you got anything you want to pimp out or anything like that?
No, not in particular. I got some stuff coming, so stay tuned.
Okay. Now, next week, the next Sunday would be the Labor Day week, the Labor Day weekend. So we're not gonna have a cast. We're gonna let everybody, spend that time with their families and have their first real school break. So let everybody have that week off, and we'll be back the following Sunday. So I think that's going to be the 12th, September 12th. So hopefully we have some good video game news going on, and because as of now we haven't had anything for a while that has been of note, I would say, or things that we haven't already told people were going to happen. So we will be back on September 12th. So hope you guys have a nice weekend. Have a nice September 5th Labor Day holiday, and be thankful that football's back. I'll let you later, people.
Bet.
Peace.